up? This is Jordan Gray from Half Lit and DopelivenTV.
Hey, this your boy Don Ritchie representing the Midwest 219 Stand Up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Lamar Tate.
This is your girl Monifa.
Hey, what up? It's your man Dave Hollister from Blackstreet.
You know what this is right here. This Trigger Tretch in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your boy Jason Weaver. And whenever I'm back home in the Chi, I'm checking out Dope Living TV.
Hey, it's your girl Adina Howard, and you're watching Dope Living TV, live with Greg Gray and the crew.
Hey, what's up? It's your guy Greg Gray. This is Dope Living TV Live. Let me start off by saying the views that are expressed on this Dope Living TV Live are not necessarily the views of Dope Living TV or its affiliates. What's up, Vet Green? Hope everything is well. Hadn't had time to check out the morning show, but we're getting there. Loosening up some time. It's gonna be all right, man. Today we're talking about it's an election year, and it's been said that this is the most important election of our lives. Now, I don't know if it's the most important election of our lives. I mean, that could be an understatement, it could be an overstatement, but I think it is important that everybody exercises their right to vote this time, because it's a lot of variables that are going on right now, a lot of things that are going on. So we're going to have a discussion today, talk about it, the pros of what's going on, the cons of what's going on. And I got to put in the disclaimer as well. What's going on, Felice Bronson? Hope everything is well with you. She had a comment, and I'm going to put that comment on later. We'll talk about the comment later. We want to make sure that we impress upon you. We're not telling anyone who to vote for, how to vote, why you should vote this person, why you should vote that person. We're just saying it's important that you let your voice be heard. That's what we're doing. All right, what's going on, Gene?
Hey, what's happening?
Yeah, man.
This is so important.
It is. I mean, and we want to just put those questions out there, to the people, to ourselves, and answer as truthfully as we can, because we've been around, so we know what a lot of this stuff has gone through. We saw the first black president come in. We saw a lot of bad things happen in these presidencies. We saw a president impeached some time ago. We saw a president leave because he was in trouble, and still the whole thing is we, the people, the people that are in the United States, we want to talk about or find out what these candidates are going to do for us, to make our lives better. We've been through enough. What's up, Marcy?
Hey. Yes.
Hey, Mars.
Hey everyone.
Yeah, we've been through enough. What's going on? We pushed this to Thursday so that Marcy could be here to discuss this, because it's been important. It's been a subject that her and Mo have really been trying to champion, and so now we want to take the time to discuss it and make sure that everybody understands what's going on, son.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah.
Donald Trump paying for an ad to make those kids.
He said Donald Trump is paying for an ad. To make these, but we're not going to talk about. We can't put that stuff on there. Okay. We want to talk about the election, not the election year, and why this is the most important. Gene, I want to start with you. Why do you think this is the most important election that we've ever had?
Well, really, I think they all important, but what we need to focus on is Project 2025. and how that's going to change our lives, what that's going to do to not just you personally, but your children, your mom, your dad, all of your family, all your friends. And
Okay, so
so, it's important to know if that's something that you want, you vote on it. If it's not something that you don't want, you got to get out there and vote on it, because you cannot complain about this isn't right for me. They took this away from me. My kids can't get free lunch. They won't pay for my education. You can't complain about it if you didn't go out and vote. And
That's
there's so
right.
many people out there that have this ideology that it's not going to make a difference if I vote or not. And that's what I'm constantly hearing. There's not one place that I have visited, grocery stores, laundromats. It's just not, every place I go, there's at least a person or two that's saying that exact thing. I'm not voting because my vote, it's not going to matter. They're going to choose who they want to choose.
but Gina, let me interject here. I've heard that not just this one, but other moments of elections as well.
Yeah, I mean,
People saying that well, my vote's not going to matter. I don't care. I'm not going to vote this year.
it's a common.
Mhm.
It's kind of common every time you get a super popular election like what we have right now, that even I can't understand why people still say that, would say, well, I'm not going to vote, you know what I mean? Even in a non-popular, and see, we must understand that not just the presidential election counts. We got to vote in these local elections to get
Yeah.
things done. Well, you think stuff really counts? Go to your locals, your senators, your congresswomen and men, and your mayors and governors, because those people actually are more in control of your local areas than the president would be. Of course, you got some candidates that get blamed for a lot of stuff that they don't have any control of. That's locally. A lot of that stuff is locally.
So let me ask Marcy. Marcy, why do you think that people are saying it doesn't matter, or some people are saying this is the most important?
Well, I believe a lot of people are saying that because they just are not educated as to what's really going on. Things have happened where they're, like Mo just said, they're blaming the local candidates about different things. But the question is, did you get out and vote? Did you vote this person in? Or when you had someone voted in, whether you voted for that person or not, and you saw that they were not doing anything as far as the community and the state that they're in, did you go and vote them out? Did you talk to those in your community about what's going on, what you don't like? Did you go, I am quick. I have no problems going up to a politician
And answer the
and
question.
letting them know what's on my mind, to ask, why is this happening? Why is this not happening? Then what are you going to do about it? I've been downstate when it comes to mental health. And that's what we have to do. You vote them in if they're not doing what they state that they're going to do, or what is best for your community, for your state. Vote them suckers up out of there. This election, I feel, is very important. Just like I believe Gina said, they all are, but there's so much on the line. There's a possibility of different Supreme Court justices coming in. So are they? Is it going to be Supreme Court justices that have voted for issues that's important to you and generations to come? Or are there justices coming in that's going to only be for one person?
Yeah.
That's going to be, and I'm just going to excuse my language, sucking out somebody's butt versus doing what's best for the country. We fought. There was a time women could not vote. We fought for that. There was a time people of color could not vote. It was only white landowners that were able to vote. But then we had the Civil Rights Act coming in. There were different amendments to that. The Voters' Right Act that came in. We have people that fought, our ancestors that fought. We have ancestors that died. And it's not just people of color.
That's right.
people, it's Americans. We're supposed to be the United States of America. At this point, the United States is not united at
Okay.
all. I know there is so much going on in the background. We need to get out and vote. Your vote does count. I remember, dang it, I can't think of who it was. There was one president election. There was a difference of 537 votes. Just think about, had people actually gotten out to vote, the president that was elected in might not have been the president.
That
But
was Bush.
it was, yes, that's who it was, Bush. But that was by 537 votes. Just think about if everyone came out.
Yep.
Get out. We need to get out, talk to our neighbors, talk to our families. If your neighbors or family members need a ride to get out there and vote, get them out there. Talk to our young people.
We're gonna get to that, Marcel. I want you to talk about that later. But picture this though: we elect the president or whomever, and we've gone through so much. We look at things and we try to talk. The candidates come out and talk to us, and we try to tell them, this is what we need, this is what we want, this is what you need to do for us. And they make all of these promises. We've gone through the Republican convention. We're in the midst of the Democratic convention right now, and we're hearing all of this great stuff. It's great stuff, all right? But then when they get in office, nothing happens. I mean, how do we trust?
You have to look at why. Sometimes it's because there isn't the same backing in the Supreme Justice and Supreme Courts that the president has to back what he's trying to do. And so if they're constantly blocking it, you can't blame the president. You can't blame.
But that's what they do, though, Jill. Am I right?
They do.
That's
they do
what
blame.
they do. But
they don't realize that's the congressmen and the Senate that do a lot of this.
Exactly.
And at the end, it goes to the president's desk.
They block a lot of that stuff.
Yes. And also,
and that's the thing and then Mo, you can jump in because Marcy gonna take the whole show. But
this is one of my babies here.
But you have to realize that they're not God. They can only do so much. They are humans. They are people. They can get in there and do so much. And so you have to, and that's what, back to what Marcy said, you have to watch what they're doing. You have to see that they are, at least trying to do what they
check
promised.
Their past.
And I'm going to tell you what you said that really made sense, Marcy. And it's really
everything
a
I
rude
said
awakening.
Makes sense,
but this is a big point that you brought up, Marcy. You said that a lot of people that's saying these things, I'm not going to vote because this, that, or the other, is because they're uneducated. And they are uneducated because I have heard some of the craziest stuff. You guys are just voting for Kamala because she's black, or, Trump is going to, do this, that, and you know what? Go and research. If you didn't watch the DNC and you're not going to watch the RNC, then you're the problem.
That's right.
Because that's where you're going to get your information. That's where you're going to hear what these candidates are putting out there. That's going to show who they really are. And so if you're just out here listening to propaganda and you're making your decision based on that, then you're the problem.
That's right. You are the problem.
You have to fact check and check their past. We've had the RNC. That was what I believe last month, and now the DNC. But check their past and see what they've promised, what they've done, the people that they are surrounding themselves with as well. What type of organizations are backing them? That's a biggie.
That's a real big.
I have people that are not, if I'm running and the people I'm surrounding myself with are not for the majority of the country,
well,
think about that.
You got to remember that, again, going back to what we were talking about earlier, the RNC and the DNC both had their conventions. Now, my question is, whatever you felt like you want to sit in and be a part of, I think you're in the right house, or close to the wheelhouse anyway. If you felt that way, then you need to go ahead and stick with that. I mean, I don't know if I don't think the independents have anything even close to that, or
And
they
you're not really hearing about the independents. That's
no.
something that a lot
Well,
of people
because
are
the
saying
independents,
we're going to vote for the independents.
because the independent now is getting out of the race, so there will be no independent candidate.
Yeah, I think he's getting out there. RFK.
He's getting out of the race, and
Yeah,
he's
they
going
said he's
to
getting
throw
out.
his attention to one of the candidates. Okay,
Mhm.
but at this point, though, we're at a crucial point, because right now we've had an opportunity, and I say the word loosely, opportunity, where the president of the United States says, "Well, hey, changed my mind. I don't want to do this." Okay, and now the groundswell is for that candidate. All right, and I'm not naming names, but you guys know who we're talking about. So the groundswell is for that candidate now. Is that just a placebo? Is it just we're going to do all because it's different, something different? Jeannie mentioned because she's black and because of this and that. But is it because she's different? Do we really, really, really know? Have we really, really vetted our candidates?
I think the biggest thing about that, Greg, is that they want us to focus on is she's a female or is she black. They want us to focus on that little
And that's
narrow
irrelevant.
It's a
distraction. It's a distraction, and we got to
That's
remember
irrelevant.
some of these politicians out here want to make it out of an issue versus the issues. Or you have some politicians out here that think that she's not even qualified to run. Are you freaking kidding me? And we listen to these folks. You got folks that are running against her that don't have half the qualifications. You know what I mean? That is a beautiful brained woman. I mean, she's worked, her butt off. But we have some politicians that think that some folks are not supposed to vote, and they're gonna do every dad blame thing that they could possibly do to keep you from voting.
Now look at this though. We both sides are throwing mud at each other. Okay,
Right.
one is blatantly throwing it, and one is just softly, saying these things, which so. And nobody's perfect. Nobody is perfect, as Gina said. Nobody's perfect. But are we going to really, really, really look at the fact now? The one candidate on one hand has done a lot of stuff that we think is just crazy. Okay, but we haven't heard too much stuff bad about the other candidate. All right,
Yeah,
is there bad stuff from that candidate?
But you know what?
Wait a minute, hold on. Let me finish this. And even though there's bad stuff said about both candidates, and Maurice, you just said the qualifications. Is one or the other more qualified to run this country? And even if we elect one that is not more qualified, are we going to be in a position? I'll call it. I'm not going to say good or bad. Are we going to be in a position? Go ahead, Gina. I'm sorry.
No, what I was going to say to your point, we already know firsthand what one of the candidates can and cannot do. We've seen them in office. We've seen him run the country. So there shouldn't be any question about whether or not you like him or not, whether or not you want him to be back in office or not. I mean,
some will say he
know
was
what
just
he's
defending
done.
himself. Some will say he did his whole term defending himself.
I hear a lot of
then
people.
that means me. That means you're focused on me and not on the people. And that's what we are missing now. We need for some candidate to focus on the people and not about what they're going through, what's happening in their life.
What's best for them.
We don't need that. That's not for us. That's just like, if you had kids, you can't put your burdens on your children.
Right.
And
they look up to you to be strong.
What I'm saying about a lot of what I'm hearing, especially from a lot of Christians, they're bringing up the abortion issue. That's one issue. Now, I'm against it, but that's me, and that's the other, the different women's bodies. If you start telling women, you can't do this with your body, what else are they going to try to control with that? To me, that's between that woman and God.
Yep.
But that's one issue. So here's one person here that you're saying you refuse to vote for this person because they're for abortion. So then let's go on the other side. They might choose one issue. I'm going to choose this one issue for this other guy, for the guy. But they're not looking at everything as a whole, like you're pretty much saying, Gina. You got to look at the whole picture. What have they been saying out of their mouths? I've heard one say, oh, this person is just saying that to get people riled up. But this person has shown who they are.
All right.
Okay. So you have to look at what they've been saying, number one. And I've always been taught, if somebody tell you this is how I am, that's how they are.
Tell you I'm a snake,
if
guess
they
what?
Actions, they're backing it up with their actions.
Right.
Time and time again.
Yeah.
I've heard other things about the vice president. So you have to, first of all, there's a lot of propaganda here in the United States. We hear about the propaganda over in Russia, over in China, over in all these other countries. There's so much propaganda happening here as well. When you start really fact checking a lot of this, and this is on both sides, we're hearing a lot of propaganda. You got to really dig and see, is this true? What have they actually, again, I keep going back to what have they been saying and doing in their past?
All right.
And then a lot of people don't realize, let's say I'm running and I promise you A, B, and C. But once I get into office, it's not just me making all the decisions.
That is
and fact. They don't see that. Or whoever was in office prior to me has messed up a lot of things. So it's not just I'm going to turn this around or, or something like that. It's going to take time to unravel some of the things that are already in place. Because if you just on the snap of your fingers say, we're going to unravel this and stop whatever was already put in place, that can mess up a lot of people in this country.
Yeah.
So it does take time.
A perfect example of that is when one president got in office the first day, they vetoed a whole bunch of stuff that was done, just unraveled it just because it was a previous president's thing. And then the people say, well, I don't have this no more. I don't have that no more. They don't understand. It was unraveled. It was shut down, because of a president signing an action, because of some people out there. Maybe it could have been somebody, in their legislate, the guys that come out and what do they call those guys? That they come out and they say, well, they're for the insurance companies or they're from the pharmacies, and so they got regulators. Not regulators.
People regulate.
I'll catch it in a minute. But they come out and they say, well, you can't kill Big Pharma. You can't kill Pharma on this. You can't kill Pharma on that. But then I got in the president's ear and then, or that candidate's ear, and then put some money out. And so the first day he gets in office or she gets in office, they go, they cut it off.
So let me ask you guys, what's a big issue for you guys that's in this, that's coming up in this election? What's a big issue that you would like for the incumbent, not the incumbent, but the president that's coming in to address? Jenny, what would be the big issue for you?
Well, it's a lot of issues. It's so many, but you know what? I really think if we start at a starting point of unity, that a lot more can get done. I would love to see democracy and unity brought back to this country. And I think with that, there would be a lot of people out there. If we got out there and we campaigned and we marched and we did things to help each other, just like on the really on the flip side of what Marcy was saying, it's all about them. But on the flip side, it's all about us too individually. What have they done for me? And that's what people are voting on. What have they done for me? Not what have they done for everybody.
Or for the country.
But what have they done for me? I got a stimulus check, so yes, I love this person. Or
that's crazy.
This person can help, they feel like this person can help Black people, so I'm going to vote for this person. It's all about me. And instead of unity, if we unify, we can get back to where we were. We are so far away from it right now.
So when we're
I
voting,
think people are just grasping on, let's get back there.
So when we're voting, are we looking at us individually? What, I mean, you're saying that, but are we voting for just what we want, what we individually want?
Most people are.
Some,
Most people are. And that's why you hear a lot of people say, hey, I'm voting for this person because I got a stimulus check.
And that is so ignorant to me.
You know what I'm saying?
You got that one.
Marcy, talk about that. What is a big issue for you?
Okay, I got some. The
So
climate
what
control.
one? B1.
Okay, the future of democracy in this country.
That's what Gina said.
Yes, but that's my biggest one. The economy.
Just one.
If you go, I can't just say one. I got a list.
You got to say one.
I had a whole list too, Marcy. I had to choose
so you
one.
said democracy. So let's talk. And you said democracy. You said unity. Those were on mine. So let's talk about.
And you can talk about it, Marcy.
Okay, so and then also with the economy, if you're going into these stores and you're looking at these prices, and it's like, and then also when it comes to gas, it's like, okay, you go to sleep, gas might be $3.14 a gallon, and then somebody burp overnight, and it's $4.99 a gallon. You know, also I'm going into some of these stores and shelves are empty. You can't find things. Looking for a small piece of meat is like
But I'm
like
sorry, I
$21.
think it's just predatory. I think
and
that's predatory,
and
I think it came about from the pandemic when we opened back up. All of these businesses said we got to jack the prices up because we lost so much money. We thought that prices would come down, but because we're paying it, they continue to have those prices jacked up like that.
We need it.
And now you're going to
we
stores. You're going into stores. You're going to different. You're used to paying tips in restaurants, but now you're having going into stores, and then they show you the little thing where you swipe your card or whatever, and on it says taxes, and they have the different amounts, 3 or 4 different amounts for you to hit. And these are stores where all you're doing is bringing your food up, not at a restaurant or whatever you're going to purchase, and you're thinking you're just going to swipe your card or pay, but they said, well, hold up, and then they want you to pay no, not tax, they want you to pay tips.
Gratuities.
Yeah. And it's just a regular store. It could be like a 7-Eleven or something like that.
And they have that embedded in your checks now when you go to a restaurant. A lot of the restaurants have it embedded in there.
Let's talk about the unity.
Let's give Maurice an opportunity.
Okay.
And then we're gonna get back. Marcy, I want to get you in.
Okay.
We're gonna get you there.
Maurice, the word I was looking for earlier was lobbyist. Those boogers right there are around in these houses, and
What's your issue? What's your biggest issue?
My biggest issue, to me, is prices. I'm gonna go with the economy. I mean, you got to remember the president does not control. Those are companies that control those things, and if they see that their shareholders are not going to get their little piece of extra, they make sure they get a little piece of extra because they jack the prices up. And a lot of people say, well, that's regulation. Regulation. I said gasoline was regulated back in the 70s. When gasoline hit $1 a gallon, that's because of deregulation. That was because of not Jimmy Carter, but it was Ronald Reagan that deregulated gas, and oil companies went crazy. The rest is history, as we say. And if you control the gas, you control the prices everywhere, because in order to get stuff from one place to the other, it's got to have some kind of fuel that it uses to get there. The reason why the lobbyists are so heavy duty on electric vehicles, electric anything, any alternative anything, is because guess what? That takes a little piece out of their pie every time somebody don't pull up to a pump or don't get off of the grid because they put a solar panel on their house. And we got to remember those things are out of our control. The president can't even, but presidents and vice presidents get blamed for that stuff. The only way for this to change is at the local level. You got to make sure that your senators and all these other folks don't let these lobbyists get a hold of them, and that they don't take money from these lobbyists. They keep those things, going up and up and up. You know, the price of a house is ridiculous right now. I remember when I was coming up, when I got my first apartment, it was like $200 something a month, and I could do that on a Jack in the Box check. You know what I'm saying?
Come on now.
And you know, I was able to get on out and discover myself. You know what I'm saying? But now these kids can't go nowhere. You know, if you got $3,000 a month, if you make $3,000 a month, that's to pay your rent. If
Pretty
you want
much.
someplace decent to live,
See?
that's
So
ridiculous.
the economy was what the majority of you said. So, but we, you know, there are some bigger issues that these candidates are looking at, like the foreign policy, like and
Sure.
Marcy brought up the abortion. You know, we got taxes, we got health care.
Healthcare is a big one. The pharmaceutical companies. I just went to get a new prescription. Well, I had been getting samples all for a year, and they ran out of samples. 30-day supply, $885.47. This is the med I was told because of the heart attack I had. I have to have that. Now look how crazy this is. I called them and said, you're gonna either have to change that med, or either I'm going to have another heart attack or something, because I cannot afford that every 30 days just for that one med, because I am on 15 meds. The lady told me, just go on the website of that med. And I did that, and I got a coupon. Now I'm only paying $10. So if it's that easy, that means, you know, you have people out here dying because they don't know to Google or to call back to the doctor to see if there's a coupon, but they can't afford their meds. And it takes for like a million billion pills 1 cent to really make, even though people don't know.
Quarter of a cent.
You know, and people out here dying because of the pharmaceutical companies, who are some of the biggest crooks out here. Biggest crooks. And they're really, instead of trying to help cure something that you have, they're just putting a Band-Aid on it. And when you look at all the side effects, you know, so that's something else that needs to be done with these pharmaceutical companies, because
they stopped regulating those back in, I forgot what year that was, when they stopped regulating all this stuff, because you didn't have a drug that say, well, you can take this drug, and then they say the side effects are you know what I mean? What the hell? The side effects are worse than this, you know, whatever you're sick of, you know.
And when they tell you, like with this grapefruit, you can't take grapefruit with half the meds. But if you start really looking up stuff for some of these fruits and veggies that they're telling you can't take if you're taking these meds, you look it up. They have medicinal properties. Whereas actually, if you stop the meds, I'm not telling anybody stop the meds without the doctor's permission. But it's like they're telling you not to take these or eat these because these are actually cures that's coming out here. And then, Greg, you brought up foreign affairs and stuff. We got our hands in all of these wars that are out here. And now it's like, now everybody want to come at us.
Well, I'm going to tell you something about us being involved all over the place like we're involved. Have you ever heard that stay out of other people's business? You know, I understand.
Something simple like that.
It's really that simple. I mean, we're handing money hands over fist, and we have issues back here in our own backyard that we need to take care of. You know, a lot of the stuff that we're having our local issues on, we can't take care of because we're spending money in 3 or 4 different countries. A lot of people say, well, we got interest there. You know, it might be a trade interest or something. Well, find somebody else to do the same thing in a different country. You know what I mean? I don't have no time for that.
Let me ask you guys this. If you could sit down with each of those candidates, what would be the first question you would ask them, or what would you want them to tell you about your concerns or concerns as a nation? What would you want to say to them? Gina?
Well, the first candidate, and I can say names. I don't
Yeah,
know
let's
why
go ahead. We're done with not saying names. Let's go ahead and say the names.
If I sat down with Trump, I would want to know what he's going to do to fix his problems first, because I feel like if he can't fix his problems, he fix ours.
All right.
So that would be my question to him. If I sat down with Kamala, I would ask her how she plan on, in what way are you planning to unite this country? because there's hate on both sides. And when you talk about unity, you don't look at color, you don't look at, you know, gender, you don't look at those things. And, you know, I can't see. I just would like to see what your plan is. Show me your plan to bring this all together.
Okay. What about you, Mo?
I say, first thing I ask Mr. Trump is, do you believe all that crap coming out your mouth?
Oh,
and why? And why are you feeding these people lies? Don't you know if them people find out the truth, they're gonna come get you? And I guess Kamala would be the same thing Gina would. You know, how we unite this country and get us back to where we were, where we did help out each other, where we did care about each other, where, you know, it's not always what the president could do. You know, what John F. Kennedy say? Not what we could do for you is what you could do for the country, that kind of thing. A lot of people don't know what that statement means. It means that we actually help each other to help the government do what they do. You know what I'm saying? It's a passion of mine. So we got to have some unity. We do have to have some unity in this country. This country's demographic has changed so much, you know, in the last 4 or 5 years. Well, less than the last 10 or 20. Demographic has changed a lot, and we have to get a grip on this stuff with immigrants. You know, a lot of people don't know the immigrants that come across the border. They owned all this stuff. You know, back in the day, they owned every bit of it. You know, then we have indigenous people that are here. They're getting treated like dirt as well. You know, so that's all I have to say. Go ahead, Marcel.
Okay, Marcel, the same question.
okay. First and foremost, for both, what are you going to do to unite this country? And for Trump, why the heck do you feel that you are above the law?
That was good.
Hey, D.
Would you have any questions for either, bro?
I would want to ask. Well, I'd make a statement to come. All right, and it's just me. Well, I personally, like I said, I don't get into politics that much. Okay, but I personally haven't seen too much of anything that she's done. Honestly, vice president, I get it, but it's been a silent vice presidency in my opinion. I haven't heard anything or seen anything that she's done. Now that you're in the spotlight, what are you going to do to make us believe that we should vote for you? You know, I'm quite sure she's going to say a lot of stuff tonight, but if I'm sitting there, I want to look her in the eyes and just say, you know, I haven't seen anything that you've done, and that's typical of most vice presidents anyway. But what would you do? What would you do to ease my concern about me voting for you? If I'm sitting with Trump, I would say, okay, sir, we aside from downplaying her and badgering her, what are you going to do for us as a race of people, and then for us as a nation to bring us back together, to bring us to get rid of that divide? What are you going to do? Because, and I would tell them too, I would say, because in my opinion, you started this, but you got to stop it. You got to let it go. And we don't want to hear. I'm not here to listen to you downplay this other person. This is not what when you're trying to get something for the people, the nation as a whole, don't focus on this one person. Let me hear your strategies. Let me hear your policies, so that I can feel better about my vote for you, period. I mean, I want to know what you're going to do basically for me, like everybody wants to know, but I want to know what you're going to do for this country, because once moves are made for this country, it's going to adversely affect us anyway, period. So those are my questions.
Would you actually believe what he told you, though? Just be honest.
I mean, I honestly, I'm going to believe. Well, no, I mean, I want to say this correctly, because I'm not trying to downplay Trump. I'm not trying to downplay Harris. I just want to know, would I believe him with the track record that he's had I would not. I'm not gonna say I'm 100% believe him, but he's trying to run again for president of the United States. All right, we need to know what's up. You know what are you gonna do? All right, because all we're hearing is borders are this. She can't do this. She's not American. She's this. She quit attacking her. We don't look. We know who she is. We see who she is. So what you're telling us, we're not listening to. Okay, we don't want to hear that. We want to hear what you're going to do to better this country. How are you going to help the economy? What's going to happen with the immigrants? What's going to happen with health care? Crime. Don't mention crime today. What are we going to do about this crime? Crime is on the rise. What are we going to do about the crime? You know, how can we curtail all of this stuff and make it better for us to be, number one, safer as we go about our day, feel better about the wages that we're making and how we're going to take care of our families, you know, things of that nature. Am I going to believe in Marcy? I'm not going to believe. I don't believe anybody until
you see. And I'm like that.
You know, you tell me something, I don't believe it till I see it. So it's great. I understand all of this hoopla about the Republican National Convention, the Democratic National Convention. You know, we had this when Obama came in. He was that young guy coming in, man, and he was saying all the right stuff. Okay, I've heard and I've seen some things where he's done some good things, but he didn't do everything. You know what I mean?
And that's what all of them. Mm-hmm.
But we also have to understand that with each term, these candidates are inheriting the mess from before. They're inheriting all this.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Mm-hmm.
And so it's not going to happen tomorrow if they change anything. And if their policy sound, it's not going to happen tomorrow. It may take 2 terms. That's why they give them 2 terms, I guess. All right. Byron says real quick, facts are facts. Donald Trump has never worked for anyone in his entire life. Why would anyone think that he's going to work for them?
Thank you, thank you. You
again, these are you know, we freedom of speech here on DopelivenTV Live. Okay, the views expressed on the DopelivenTV Live are not necessarily views of DopelivenTV or its affiliates. All right, go ahead, Mo.
Yeah, this person was not, you know, he was entitled from day one. You know, he has not made a good, and these are my opinions, okay? He has not made a good business decision in his life ever. You know, everybody that works for him, not everybody, but for the most part, if he has something to do with their pay, he's gonna make sure that they don't get it, especially if they're doing something for him.
But don't we want as citizens of the United States, we want to be able to take care of our families. We want to be able to go to work and come home safely. You know, we want to make sure that we have the same right. Everybody is equal. We want to have the same rights as everyone else, white, black, whomever. We want to have those same rights. And we need a candidate to really speak and calm our nerves. Because right now we're nervous.
A lot of people are nervous. A lot of folks are nervous about this election. I'm one of them, and I hope it comes out, you know, for the best, whatever it be, up, down, left, right, whatever. Because
I think people are kind of inside. We're stressed out about the way the country has been, you know, over the years. I think we have a little bit of PTSD from it. And so we're looking to get away from that. If somebody can bring us away from that and make us feel comfortable, that's why we're moving in that direction, because we're looking for somebody to make us feel more comfortable about being a citizen of the United States. And we haven't felt comfortable about being a citizen in a very long time.
Speaking of that, we just happen to have this show. I just got a text from DNC.
So we pushed this show. Well, real quick, Byron says, let's keep it real. If Kamala Harris, Barack Obama, or Hillary Clinton had 5 kids by 3 different people, they wouldn't have been taken seriously. But somehow this guy gets passed. All right, so we pushed this show back because we wanted Marcella to come on because she's real adamant about this election and about voting, period. Okay. So Marcy, I want to give you a couple of minutes. I mean, I know, but I'm saying because Marcy wanted to be on the show in order to be able to talk about it. So I want to give each of you guys the remainder of the show to talk about whatever you want to talk about concerning voting and concerning election. I'm gonna start with you, Marcel.
Okay. So something I wanted to talk about. If you are not registered at this time, please get out, register to vote. It should not be too late. You can go to vote.org. You can go to www.vote411.org/ and put your state in there for information. You can also go, Greg, are you going to put these up?
Probably not gonna have time to do them. I can try.
Okay. Also, www.justice.gov/voting. And it will tell you when the last day is for you to register to vote. It will also talk about absentee ballot. If you're not available to be at the poll on the date of voting, what is that, November 5th? You can maybe possibly be eligible to do an absentee vote ballot or to mail in. There's also a 14-page book that you can download, and it's called Know Your Voting Rights, Your Guide to Federal Voting Rights Laws. With the www.justice.gov, it talks about protecting your right to vote. You can also register to vote. It talks about if you're overseas, how to vote. It talks about how you can vote if you have limited English proficiency. It also talks about if you're disabled and possibly you can't get out to vote, or where you can go to vote if you're disabled, like in a wheelchair or something of that nature. And it also talks about reporting a violation. Do not allow anyone to intimidate you when you do go out to vote. If so, report it.
It's against the law.
Please find out. Yes, it is. Please find out, talk to your neighbors. If there's someone that you know do not have transportation, it is extremely, extremely, extremely important to get out to vote. Also, make sure that you're informed. Read up on the political issues, both local and national. Figure out where you stand. Get out. Again, talk to the people. Voice your opinions on social media. If you're in college, at your school, your local newspaper, or other public forums, no matter what you believe or whom you support, it is very important to exercise your rights.
Cool. Natalie says he's not planning to make this country better. He's already said if we vote for him, we won't have to vote ever again. That's already taken away one of our rights. What other rights will he take away? Byron says convicted felons and educated sexual offenders should not be anywhere near the White House. All right,
they
Mo,
can't even vote.
Yeah, he can't even vote for himself.
Mo, you want to say something?
It's extremely important.
Thank you, Marcy. I'm sorry.
If you're wondering what you need to do, this is the first time you're getting out there to vote. This is not the most important vote. This is a important vote, but not the most important. What you need to do is get involved with those local and state elections and vote in those and rally people behind those mayors and those senators and those congresswomen and men that you and vote early too. And get by those people in the early parts of those things, because getting in there early and getting to those senators and getting to those mayors, getting to those governors, getting into those congresswomen and men, that's where all the daggone action happens. That's what all the action happens. And once you get the things that start to happen as you go, they kind of go in your direction. Just thinking that this one person. Thank you, Byron. Just thinking this one person is going to do all the things that you need to happen, is not it. That's not the magic bullet. The magic bullet is work, and it starts at the grassroots all the way up to that level.
Okay. Gina.
One of the things we have to realize, most of the people that are voting already know who they're going to vote for.
Yeah.
We're not out here to get anyone to vote for any particular candidate, but what I will say is get out here and research. Get out here and educate yourself. Stop listening to the media. Stop listening to what's on social media. Stop listening to, people and their opinions. Those are their opinions. Form your own. Get out here and research, read Project 2025. And there's a lot of condensed versions out here. I know it's 900 pages. You're not going to read 900 pages, but there are condensed versions of it. If you're for it, vote for it. If you're not, don't vote for it. But make sure you know what's happening, what's going to happen, and what's out there right in front of your face. We know that this is an important election. It's very important. And just like Byron said, our democracy is at risk right now.
Yeah.
You know, if that's taken away, we may as well move to Russia somewhere.
Oh,
Life as you know it would never be the same. And so there's too many people that I'm running into that's saying, I'm not voting. You might as well vote for the person you don't want in office then. Because if you don't vote, that's exactly what you're doing. You're giving them your vote. But at least if you're going to vote and you are on the fence, or you just don't know who to vote for, get out here, research, find out the facts, and stop listening to all this propaganda.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, it's a matter of, and you guys have said it so greatly. I appreciate the conversation you guys had, because you guys were on point on everything that you said. To me, it's about, and I'm just reiterating some of the things that you guys said. It's about making a conscious effort to, number one, as Marcy said, let's learn about these candidates. Period. Even though we've seen what the one candidate has done and can do, we still need to be open-minded and say, hey, look, is what candidate Harris talking about going to take us to the next level? Is what candidate Trump talking about going to take us to the next level? We have to be informed. We have to understand, first of all. Number two, once we get that understanding, then we can take action. And what is that action? Go to the polls, go vote, make your voice heard. If you don't make your voice heard, then you can't complain about what happens. There's no reason for you to say, oh man, that shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have been in, or she shouldn't have been in. If you do not go out there and vote, you have no reason to say anything about what happened, period, whatsoever. You have to exercise it. But we have been, well, how should I say, people died for us to have this opportunity as Black people. People died for us to have this opportunity. So why would we, that's disrespectful to those who have come before us not to vote. They did this for us so that we could do this. So it's disrespectful for those people that fought for us, who died for us. You know, so let's get out there, let's do our patriotic duty, and let's vote. Let's respect one another. Let's respect the candidates. Let's because the name calling is not necessary. Right? It does nothing. It doesn't make me want to come to you anymore. You know, it doesn't make me want to endear myself to you, because you're focusing on this, and we want you to focus on this, the big picture. So let's just get out there, as Marcy said so eloquently, and thank you so much, Marcy. I'm glad we did wait. Mo said it, Gina said it. We just got to go out there and do it. It's our duty. It's our obligation. It's our job to go out there and make a vote. Let's do it.
Civic duty.
Let's do it. Anybody else want to say anything?
Yeah, you have to realize the politicians work for us.
That's right.
So if they're not doing what they're saying that they're going to be doing, vote them out. Talk to as many people that you know have the same mindset as you. Vote them out. They work for us. We don't work for them.
And that's on either side of the party, guys.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, and I wish people would stop saying, "Oh, I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican," because my entire family for decades have been doing that. Look at the different candidates, and this is not just for the presidential election. When you go for the locals, look at the candidates, look at their past, see what they've done in the past, see if they how do they say put their money where their mouth is? If I say I'm going to do this, are they trying to do this? Sometimes they might not be able to, but if you see that they're actually putting effort in there and trying to change things for the community, not just for a few select few, get out, just get out there and vote. Register.
Well, Marcy, if people could do that, then they would be able to look past the fact that we don't want a woman running the country. If people can do what you just said, then they would be able to look past that. And we are in an era where we should be past that.
Yes.
This ain't West Side Story, y'all. We ain't got to. This ain't the Bloods and the Crips, okay? Because they're acting. Candidate is acting like if you do this, you're on my side, it's good, okay? If you're on the other side, you're bad, okay? We're gonna get the other side, all right? This is not a fight.
We're gonna get you because you didn't vote for me.
Well,
that's separatism. That's separatism. We don't need separatism. Let's just say, hey, this is what I come to the table with. This is what I want to do, and vote for me because of this. Vote for me because of that, not because.
And at least try to do what you're saying you're gonna do.
Yeah, make that attempt, okay? Mo, you had something you wanted to say real quick?
I was going to say something about as long as they keep us divided, they'll keep this country backwards. You know what I mean? And the thing that really gets me the most is that I don't know why on the Democratic side they think that black people are always on the Democratic side.
Right.
If the Republicans ever figured out that we are more conservative than a lot of people think that we are, if they know how conservative most black folks are, and they figured it out instead of putting us trying to pigeonhole us with the Democrats because we're conservative people and we would vote that way. But you're not trying to even look our way or help us with things because you think that we're Democrats and we're too lenient. Well, the Democrats will give us at least a try. They'll at least help us do things. Some of the things, like it's been a lot of things that the Democrats have done for us, but I mean, I don't know, sometimes it was good for us, public housing, some of those things and voting and all that stuff came through the Democratic pipeline. Some of those things were put there and signed by a Democrat. But again, you got to go back at some of the things that Republicans done. Again, this is the USA. We're united regardless of who gets in the office or who's running. This is the USA. And what we do for one, we have to do for all. It's called the United States. And what we got to remember, and that's the beautiful thing about our country. That's the difference between our country and other countries.
We can talk about this all day long.
United States.
We are the United States, absolutely, Mo. We can talk about this all day long, okay? But the bottom line is, let's get out and vote and make our voice heard. Let's and whatever the result is, let's support,
honor it.
And honor it, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna close it out. Felice Bronson sent the text. She says voting is important because it gives someone the right to be opinionated, simply because their vote proves that they actually care by participating in the process.
Thank you, sis.
Okay, Felice, that was good.
I'm gonna leave it at that. Monday, y'all get these relationship questions together because we just trying to get the people what they want. We want people to be together, or do we want them to be apart? Or we want to make sure that the sex life is good. We want to make sure all of that stuff is all
and
around.
just remember, those are the opinions of Dope Living TV and not its affiliates.
But vote, man. Vote.org. Vote411.org. Hashtag
your state.
Your state. And justice.gov//voting. Make your voice heard. Make your voice count. Don't forget.
And the Distinguished Authors Guild.
November the 11th. Make sure it's coming up.
We
quickly.
vote there too.
Yeah.
If you're out of town, get your tickets because it's going to be a great event. We all will be there, so you get a chance to meet us. We sign some autographs.
What you say? You gonna sign some autographs? That's what you said.
Man, you know,
I don't
we
think nobody want my
worldwide,
signature.
man. We worldwide. We got to sign some autographs, take some pictures, you know, with people
I take
so
a
they can
picture.
say that they are part of the dope living community. All right. We want everybody to be involved in that. All right. But until Monday, man, this is Dope Living TV. And we will see
Peace.
you guys then. All right.
All right.
Adios.